This is a 7th grade biography project I did on my grandma. It was specifically about the World War II incident with the Japanese. It was really important to me that she get recognized for what she's been through and how just tough she is as a human being.
During World War II, on March 1942, the Japanese Empire occupied the Dutch East Indies, now known to us as Indonesia. The colonial army was entrusted to detention camps. The Dutch that refused to leave the community were sent to them to starve or work as slave laborers. This Japanese occupation movement resulted in the deaths of over 4 million people. Finally, in October 1945, the Japanese surrendered and the imprisoned Dutch were set free.
These people deserve recognition. They need their voices heard. They need their story told. And, you know, the ones who are living and are still living and lived through that, there's not very many of them left. And Oma's one of the ones who she'd tell her story and she'd love to share it with the world.
Before they took us in the camp, we had a few weeks and we were all staying with my grandma at that time. So one of my aunts was pregnant and she was tried to take some food to men camp, but the men were already in camps. So she came close to it and he just reached over for it, turned his back and he got shot in front of her. You know, it must be awful. So just taking a little food from her, yeah, things like that, yeah.
This is Dorothea Bogars, known to her loved ones as Oma, which is Dutch for grandmother. She's 86 years old and still remembers vividly her experiences in one of the Japanese prison camps. This is Oma's granddaughter, Kelly. To find out more about her life in imprisonment, Kelly has decided to ask her what it was like.
Can you tell me more about the day the Japanese came and captured you?
Within 2 weeks, everybody that was Dutch, or even Americans and Englishmen that worked there, they took all their possessions. After they got organized, they took us to the prison camps. The Japanese gave us all jobs. You know, I mean, sometimes you work in the kitchen, sometimes you drive wheelbarrows with bodies to the grave. That's what they did, because the young and the old never survived. So, you know, it's just the middle group that was stronger that survived. So.
Did you receive any food or medication?
Very little, very little. I know that the Red Cross dumped some food, but we never saw it, you know. They distributed a cup of porridge, what they call it, and some green leaves in there, and once a week you get a little bit of sugar, and that was it. You know, so it was part of life there in the camp. That was part of your life. People are cruel, I tell you, they are very cruel. So, but yeah, so all the little bits of memories that I have, you mean? That I can't remember everything, but that's the things that we remember.
Can you tell me some more of your memories?
After the Japanese took off, the Indonesians supposedly were protecting us. So when they put us in different camps, this was a housing complex with some barbed wire. So we kids roaming around found this old school, broken window in the back. We crawled in and there was boxes and boxes from the Red Cross. So I said, oh my God, we hit the jackpot. So every night when it was quiet, we ran over there. It was only us that knew it, because a lot of kids in the camp. And soon enough, all the little kids got to know it and they started roaming in there. And here came the Japanese after the kids. And they shot 3 of them too. Just trying to get some food, you know. What was from the Red Cross, what was for us. The Indonesians just took it, that's it. Oh boy.
So they kept it away from you?
Yeah, yeah. But hidden in the schools and underneath, you know, in basements.
You picture it in your mind, but it's nothing that you can imagine unless you were actually there. She would tell me stories as she remembered them, bits and pieces here and there, but always a different story.
Oma's an incredible woman. She went through a very traumatic event, as well as all the other Dutch that were in the prison camps.
She was separated from her dad for 3.5 years, and that her sisters and her had to do awful things in the camp and were forced to do things by the Japanese.
No one should go through that.
What helped you cope with these experiences?
With family around, that's the main thing. We had all these support groups around us and help, you know, yeah, that was pretty good. And families help each other, and that's what happened, you know, yeah.
Can you tell me about the day that you were freed?
We just woke up one day and then it was quiet. We didn't see any Japanese people watching us because they had their barracks around the camp. And they're always watching, you know, and all of a sudden there's no one there. What happened here, you know? So, of course, the gates went open and everybody started running out because, hey, we're free. Let's go find some food.
Thinking about all the things you went through in the war, how do you think that affected your life?
That you can't take life for granted, and anything can happen any day. You're not prepared for it, but it could happen to anybody at any time. That's what I say, you know.
She's not bitter, she's not angry, she's in love with life, and you know, she feels that every day is a gift.
She inspires me every day.
You can go through a lot and be a very positive, loving, joking older person and not cranky.
When I went to history class, I never learned anything about the Japanese invading Indonesia.
I think that along with her and the others held by the Japanese, they deserve a voice. For people who have suffered in silence for so long, their voice, more than almost anyone, deserves to be heard.
Thank you, Kelly.
I remember seeing all the surprised faces, sad faces, and of my classmates and my teachers of what Oma had to go through and how it made her the person she is today. So, love you, Oma.
My favorite memory with Oma would be, I guess, all the vacations we went on together and all the time when she would call me for my birthday.
My favorite time with Oma is every time I get to talk to her about her past. She always tells me how she lived back then, and it just seemed interesting to me, and I like talking about that with her.
And I'm so thankful to have such a wonderful Oma.
She's a survivor, and I think her story needs to be told.
She's the most caring and generous person and loves everyone so much.
No matter how many grandkids she had, she always remembered each and every one of us, whether it's sending a card on your birthday to buying you mints when she went to Holland. It's amazing. She remembers each and every one of us and never forgets.
I've wanted to make sure that some of these stories are captured and that we remember them and are able to pass them on down in the generations.
Oma, maybe one day when I get older, I will have your spunk, sense of humor, and pass on some of your selflessness. I love you.
She doesn't have these feelings of resentment and bitterness. She's overcome so many obstacles, half of which most of us won't know in a lifetime. And she's come out the other side of her struggles with this genuine warmth, love, and appreciation for life. And I think that she's pretty much passed that on to all of us, you know, showing us that strength, love, and laughter can overcome it all. And she's definitely an inspiration to us all.